social media is the reason why you're not happy. I took a 5-day social media break besides YouTube because I'm a YouTuber. Didn't scroll a single time, didn't re-download it, nothing. And I know you guys might be like, oh, you only took 5 days off, but like this was 5 days, literally no socials. So literally the only communication I'm doing is my text messages. And by doing this, man, even though it was only 5 days, it was kind of a challenge at first. That first day was kind of like so easy to just pull out your phone when you're bored or when you're anxious or when you don't know what to do, or it's just a natural habit to just whip out your phone, check your notifications, open Instagram or whatever. And it just made me realize like how much time we actually waste on our phones. You know what I'm saying? I get it if you create content, but you know, even me, I create content and at times I can get caught scrolling way too much. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to be a producer on this app. I don't want to be too much of a consumer. I guess the first thing that I noticed was my mind was way more clear during that social media break. I was way more productive and focused on my goals during the day and what I had to accomplish. I also could just fall asleep quicker because I wasn't, endlessly scrolling before I went to bed or anxious, or thinking about something that I saw even subconsciously, when I was scrolling on social media before I went to sleep. So like I said, I was more focused. I recommend you guys take a break from social media too. But I was also just not comparing myself as well. I was more happy, I wasn't seeing all these rich people or all these happy people or all these happy relationships on my news feed. I was just focused on what was going on in my life during the time, and it just made me realize, like, it humbled me to a certain extent. And it made me feel more grateful for what I have, because you might feel like your life is boring or you're not where you want to be yet, which is cool. But at the same time, you have to understand there's probably a lot of people out there who would dream to live the life you're living today. Like right now, you're probably living somebody's dream life. And it just made me realize, like, wow, like I didn't came far, it's all because of God, but also like, obviously I'm not where I want to be in life, not even just financially, but you have to appreciate the small wins and you have to appreciate the journey. You have to enjoy the journey as well. I'm way further in life. I'm at a way better trajectory than I was even a year ago in life. So 2-3 years ago, I was wishing I was where I'm at right now. So I just know it's going to be on God's timing and it's all going to happen one day. Even if you're not trying to compare yourself, when you scroll on social media, you're going to somehow compare yourself to someone, whether it's your friend, whether it's a celebrity. You're going to be like, oh, they did such and such. Man, I wish I was doing that. But you didn't even wish you were doing that until you saw somebody else doing it, is what I'm saying. So it just kept me a lot more focused. I was just more happy. My mood was better. I feel like a lot of people, when they go on social media, they find stuff to complain about in their life. Oh, this person just got a new car. Dang, and I'm driving this old car. They just got a house. I'm living in this little apartment. Like, be grateful for everything. Everything could always be worse. And life is not just about the glitz and glamour. It's not just about material possessions, because you can't bring any of that stuff with you when you leave anyways. So you should probably focus more on like making memories and accomplishing things that matter in life. Another thing too, all that little time you spend on your phone, whether it's, when you're using the bathroom, when you're at work, when you get out of the shower, when you're out to eat or in your car, all those little minutes on your phone add up. I suggest you guys check your screen time, because it's kind of outrageous, people's screen time. Some people's screen time is like 8 hours. Then they sleep for 8 hours and then they go to work for 8 hours if they have a job. How else are you going to accomplish or do anything meaningful in life if you're just on your phone, sleep, or at work? How are you supposed to escape your 9 to 5? It's actually insane. I think the phone addiction is something that nobody ever talks about, because 95% of people are addicted to their phones. From ages 5, the iPad kids, to even some people my parents' age in their 40s or 50s, they're addicted to their phones. You go to the dinner table, they're scrolling. People at church scrolling. I've seen people working out at the gym scrolling their news feed. Like, is it that serious? You feel like you're missing out? You can't wait until you're done working out to check your news feed? Just realize, man, all that little time adds up. You have more than enough time in your day to do whatever you want to do, to accomplish whatever you want to do. People will be like, oh, I don't got time to work out today. No, you're choosing not to work out. There are 24 hours in a day. It only takes 30 minutes to get a decent workout in, or an hour if you want to do that. A lot of people just make excuses. Oh, that's kind of an hour. That's a far drive, but you'll spend hours on hours and hours on your phone. It's all about what you want to make time for at the end of the day. People will say they don't have time for something that they don't want to make time for. That's a gem for y'all. I was also just more in the moment. I think a lot of people, since we have cell phones and all this imaginary stuff on here, the world is literally on this phone. You can search any image. You can see literally anything good or bad on this phone. But it made me appreciate nature more, just soaking up, just being in the moment, looking at nature, looking at the sky, just realizing life is just not on these phones. Even me, sometimes I can get carried away and think I always got to be doing something. I always got to be texting somebody or making plans or seeing what they're doing, or it's not normal, but it almost feels normal because that's how culture is, that's how society is. Another thing I realized is like cell phones are still a new thing. These smartphones were not around 30 years ago. Like, these are still pretty new things, so I can't imagine how the world's gonna be in 50, 100 years. I don't even know if people are gonna talk to each other in real life. That's another thing. I really, really value real life interactions and meeting people in real life, hanging out with people in real life, way more than I like FaceTiming or texting people that I don't, might not have even met yet. I don't wish I was born, 10, 20 years ago, but, I do wish that people weren't on their cell phones as much. I bet you guys can relate to when you're hanging out with a friend or a family member or your girlfriend or whatever it is, and they're talking on the phone with somebody, or they're just endlessly just watching TikToks while you're trying to tell them something important, or they feel like they always got to text back right when somebody texts them. It's almost like you're just slapping your company in the face, or just slapping the person you're hanging out with in the face, basically telling them that they're less important than whatever's going on in your phone. So that's another thing I realized, man. People's attention spans are so short nowadays. They can barely have a 30-second conversation without checking their phone. Like, it's literally crazy. Being on your phone too much, it makes you feel like you're missing out on stuff. When I deleted my social media for 5 days, I didn't miss out on nothing. I had a few texts here and there, but nothing crazy. Nothing crazy happened in the social media world. Nothing crazy happened from my friends or whatever. I didn't miss out on nothing. So I think that's what a lot of people's problem is too. They feel like they're missing out on something. It's called FOMO, F-O-M-O, fear of missing out. Especially my generation, the people in their 20s and teenagers have that really bad. They think there's always something going on. There's always something that they can't miss out. They have to check their phone right when they wake up in the morning. And that's something I used to struggle with too. And I'm glad I don't anymore. There's also a lot of just useless information on social media. And there's a lot of bad social stuff on social media as well. And people don't even realize how that can throw your vibe off, throw your day off. Another thing I kind of thought of is like, I can't imagine how many years once people make it to 70, 80 years old, that they're going to realize they wasted just being on their phone. 8 hours a day or even 5 hours a day on your phone, 10, 15 years, that's going to add up to some days and some weeks and eventually some years that you just wasted on your phone. Life is already short enough. The usual life expectancy is like 72, 75. Plus, you have to consider you're going to sleep 8 hours a day. So that's really a third of your life that you don't even get to fully experience being awake. So it kind of just made me realize like I really need to not take my life for granted and really be in the moment more, be more productive, and be on my phone less, honestly. I'm a content creator, and phones are good for making money, communicating, taking pictures, things like that. But as far as like just scrolling for no reason, not having a purpose when I pull out my phone, that's something I got to stop and something I'm still working on. I'm human at the end of the day. And like I said, it's become such a norm for people my age. It's like if you're not on your phone a lot when you're hanging out with your friends or when you're at a social event, they make you feel weird. You stand out. People will throw parties and just to be on their phones the whole time. It doesn't make any sense to me. The last thing I'll probably leave you guys with is like, imagine if you're watching a movie, right? And the main character is just on their phone the whole movie. In the movie, the main character is just on their phone the whole time. Wouldn't that be a boring movie? Wouldn't that be a weird movie? Remember why you're here. Find your purpose and really just conquer something that matters. You don't want to be 70, 80 years old like, dang, I wasted all my life trying to impress the internet or live for the internet or just be on the internet and not be in the moment and be in real life and soak in all the great things of life and all the great people and memories and moments and really like make my mark on the earth. That's something I've really been focused on is just, what type of legacy am I going to make and create, for my family and for my last name and for the generations to come after me. What am I going to be remembered as? Just felt like I had to make this video, man, to someone who is either feeling depressed or anxious or comparing themselves on social media or feels like they're addicted to social media. It's okay, be honest. It's better to be honest about your addictions than to be in denial, because if you're in denial, you're not going to be able to get better and grow from it. Yeah, y'all like, comment, subscribe. More videos on the way. Comment down below if this resonated with you. Comment any video ideas you guys got for me. More bangers on the way. Yeah, we out. Link in bio for my clothing brand website. Real legendary status. Go copy some drip, man. Drip Star, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, let's go.